What's wrong?
I can't find my deck.
Wait, I mean, you physically can't find it?
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. There's a solution.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's the No Deck Tracker!
Product is only available in China. See physician if you have an erection longer than 3 hours. Also may cause cancer.
Hey everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Indigo.
And I'm Krug.
And today we're going to be talking about the official Blizzard Hearthstone card tracker that you can only get in China.
Official is a strong word, as we'll come to know soon. If you haven't heard yet, there is a official Hearthstone deck tracker available now, but it is only available in China. The first question that I think both of us asked ourselves when we started reading about this is, why is it only available in China, but at the same time official? It turns out that there is actually another company behind this that isn't Blizzard.
Yeah. There's so many layers to this dirt pile that I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I do.
All right, go for it.
I forgot the name of the company now. There's a company called NetEase, which is a Chinese company that is Blizzard's operator in China. They basically take their games and republish them in China and obey all of China's things for them.
It really sounds like a company that sells
middleman.
Neti pots.
What? No, it's not a company that sells. I mean, they might sell neti pots. They've been Blizzard's Chinese operator for about a decade now, and they operate all of their games in China. Hearthstone, WoW, I don't need to tell you all of Blizzard's games. It's all of Blizzard's games. It's a lot of games. It's a long period of time, and they make tons and tons of money. And it's not just that. They also produce their own games for both PC and mobile, and they are the self-proclaimed largest producer of PC platform and mobile games in China, which is insane because there are a lot of those companies in China, a lot of those tech companies, and a couple of big ones for gaming specifically. So the fact that they're calling themselves out as the largest is pretty ballsy.
Yeah, that's pretty huge.
But we have some stock numbers for them, and they're pretty high. Like, if you look here, they're insanely high. Those are some good numbers. If you haven't heard of NetEase, don't feel bad because I hadn't heard of them before today. And
neither have I.
Yeah, so that's why we're not seeing this released in the US, at least now. I'm not ruling out the possibility that Blizzard goes ahead and releases a version of this for the US or for other regions. But for now, since NetEase is the one that's taking responsibility and taking the initiative to do the development work, it's only going to work on Chinese servers. It's not even your location. If you're in China but you're playing on another server, or if you're in the UK and playing on a Chinese server, that can work. It's just you have to be on a Chinese server. That's the only kind of requirement that we've heard about so far. There have been people on Reddit that have tested this, and it has worked on the Chinese server well so far. They say that there's a little bit of polish that needs to be done, but overall the functionality is good. It's not hyper buggy. All of it works, which is really awesome. The user on Reddit who provided all of this information translated from the Chinese press release is, and I'm very sorry for butchering your name, Si He Hong, I think is how you pronounce it. There's a link to his Reddit page in the show notes. There's also a link to the thread if you want to take a look at it. He went ahead and kind of gave everybody a rundown of what features are available in the client, as well as translated the press release so that everybody can kind of read it. It's really kind of exciting. I like the functionality that's becoming available, and I really want to see an official version from Blizzard for the US.
Yeah, because there's a ton of other people that are making them, and I've definitely used deck trackers before, and I like them. There's so many additional features that I just wish Blizzard would implement that these deck trackers already do. I get that a lot of it is just pen and paper, you know what your deck has, so it's you can scratch out what your deck doesn't have anymore. But it would be so nice to have just a little up and down arrow on the left hand side of the screen that allows you to go past and see moves that were done 2 or 3 rounds ago.
Oh yeah, the turn history not being scrollable.
I hate that. It's I can see maybe 4 of their abilities that they did. Oh great, that's super
Especially
helpful.
with the super heavy combo stuff recently. But that's more of a quality of life thing. I think the one thing about this that I don't like is the fact that it's still a third-party client. It's not integrated into the launcher or integrated into the game itself. It's still something you have to download and run as a service on your computer.
I do think there's a reasoning for that, though.
What is that?
I don't think that Blizzard wants to implement that into their game because I don't think that they want it to be a part of the esports aspect of it. So if I think they want players to be good because they know what's in their deck. They know the numbers. Right. It's all up here.
They don't want people like kind of copy pasting what works sort of thing.
Yeah, and so it's like I think people want to. I think they want to keep the esports aspect of it clean, easy, like visually more appealing.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, except for the fact that that's not going to work because no matter what, this is going to be a game about statistics.
It's still statistics. It's not that. It's just that, like, if it's a part of the game that when they host it on esports, they have to show that part.
Oh. So like they don't want that stuff in the broadcast. But I don't think they have to change the actual in-game interface in order to integrate it into the game. But it's not really a huge concern because that's not the way it is, right? It's its own separate client.
Yeah, it's its own client that you have to run separately, and I think that's the reasoning why that Blizzard doesn't want to make their own official one that's integrated with the game. Like, give that option to people that need the help or need the crutch versus the people that don't want to. And especially the fact is that you got to think that Blizzard also has to take account that if they update the PC version, they're also going to have to update the tablet and mobile version, which does not work on mobile because mobile is already taking the full screen up. So it's like there's so much more that they have to think about in the long run if they wanted to make it an official part of it. I still think the up and down arrow works. I'm just saying.
You don't even have it on mobile. You can just move it.
Yeah, just slide. Give me the option of sliding it. Anyways, that's my one issue with that game. That and it's really expensive. Have it.
Aside from the deck tracker portion, there's also a replays function, which is really cool. It's really tightly integrated with the game in that it records everything. Like if somebody hovers over a card, that's a part of the recording. So it's not some simple reading the XML file that's being generated. It's literally every single thing that happens is being recorded. And you can share those replays with friends. It gives you a special code that you can like pass around and you can watch the recordings. And in the recordings, there's a lot of cool functions. Like you can go to a specific turn and like see what happened on that turn and like pause and kind of like read things if you need more time. I think the replay function is really nifty. There's also a deck recommendation tool that I also think is very good because not only does it give you like a set of decks and like what cards are in them and why they're good and what they're good against and stuff like that, but it also tells you how much dust you're missing in order to craft the cards you need in order to complete that deck. So it's really tightly integrated with your collection, which is what I think a lot of deck recommendation sites are lacking at this point, is the ability to say, yeah, this deck costs 3,600 dust if you build it from scratch, but you have 25 of the cards. How much do the 5 cards that you're missing cost? Also, how much dust do you have? Can you afford it right now? And if stuff like that was made available for services like this, you could just sort by what are the decks that I can play right now, which is, I think, a really difficult part of Hearthstone, is figuring out what to play. Because once you get to a certain point, you kind of have to play a meta deck. It's just which one am I closest to building, you know?
And which one do I enjoy?
Yeah, out of the ones I can play, which one do I enjoy the most?
Sometimes I'll go slightly out of meta just because it's like, this is way more fun to play and I'd rather like lose every other game because I don't want to play the same card.
Yeah, nobody's telling you have to be like super like competitive, right? You can be a filthy casual if you want. That's cool.
All right, everyone, go down in the comments and let us know what additional Hearthstone features do you wish that the game had? I mean, clearly other than the up and down arrow, because that's just across the board. Everyone.
Well, and
wants
what
it.
about chat with the person you're playing against so that you
can
absolutely 100%.
All right, everyone, after you guys leave a comment, make sure to hit the like button. That really helps out the entire YouTube community, not just us. Don't hit the dislike button. Just let us know what you didn't like about it. And while you do that, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button so you guys can, you know, subscribe to us. I don't care. I'm done with this intro too. Hit the bell icon so you can get notifications for all of our future content. You can hit me up on Twitter at IndigoQT.
You can get me on Twitter at CrewQT. You can also get both of us at _QueueTimes. We've been GameGorgon. We'll see you guys when we learn how to do a f***ing outro.